Hey guys, it's Raythe and Kat here, and meow. And I hear from Kat that we have some questions about what's all going on.
Yeah, so we just had a little Night Prince lunch stream where we set up the mics and just go live when we feel like it.
We're gonna do it live. We're gonna do it live.
Unfortunately, we can't really tell you about that, Spotify people. So if you are wanting to know when the next live stream is, come on over to our YouTube channel. I post about it on our community tab, and you can also see the pre-setup streams in the live tab.
Or please join our email list so then you get everything that's going on and you don't miss it. The Night Prince book 1, which is a cozy romantasy, a cozy gay romantasy as always, has been launched. Book 1 has been launched. There's audio, there's paperback, there's an ebook, there's going to be a hardcover, there's going to be another audio version, which is all going to be all sorts of exciting. Will it be on Spotify, Kat? It's going to be just on Raythe Rain, and it's just going to be available for purchase on Audible and or on Raythe Rain's shop, which is a slightly different.
We can't. We have a terrible habit of biting off more than we can chew, and we've just gotten a smack of reality like this month.
Oh yeah.
And it's not going to get better. I can only handle 2 podcasts.
Yeah, we go. Exactly.
My pride has been dented, and I have to admit that I just can't do it.
But definitely, if you want more to listen to, there is a ton more now to listen to with the Night Prince, starting both with an Edward version that you can get through Audible, or my version, which you can get through signing up for raytherain.com and or purchasing it at our shop.
Let's start with, is the Night Prince only on Amazon? Like, is it in KU as an Amazon exclusive?
No, it is not. The Night Prince is an ongoing current serial at the current time. There are 82 chapters on Raythe Rain, and that is growing every single month, between like 5 more chapters a month. So no, it is definitely not in KU, and it will not be in KU.
And so that means you can find it in Kobo and Barnes & Noble. I know this is important to more and more people because Amazon is Amazon.
Exactly. And Apple Books and all that kind of stuff that you can find it all over the place.
Yeah, I have a page that I'm updating with all of the links. It's a book funnel page, and I'll post that in the show notes.
It's a great idea. That's a great idea to have that.
The Audible audiobook is exclusive to Amazon, but your version is not exclusive to Amazon.
Right. So one of the things that I've been doing is that I've been reading The Night Prince myself in a very attempting, in my dramatic way. Like, I read the original Dragon's Reign, which those of you still tell me you love, which I appreciate it. I'm doing this again for The Night Prince for members. So at first we were just having it as a membership perk, where you could listen to the chapters as well as read them. And then Kat was like, people are asking if they can buy it individually. And I'm like, really? Okay. So we decided this time we're going to give the people what they want. This is what we're trying to do these days, which is give you what you're actually asking for. So my version of The Night Prince will be both available to stream as part of your membership on raytherain.com, but also at the Raythe Rain shop, you can buy my version of it.
And in case it wasn't clear, Her Grace Reads Studio is producing the official Audible version of The Night Prince, which means Edward Fox with help from Hannah Hart.
You haven't lived until you've heard his version of the dwarves and everything else. I love his version of the fairies too. They're great.
Yeah.
So I still think my Snaglack is better though.
I think it is too, actually. Your Snaglack is the original Snaglack, so...
But Finley.
Anyway, I have a sample of Edward's reading of The Night Prince, and I will link to that in the notes. It's like the commercial sample of 5 minutes.
Yeah, can we also, if it's possible, can we link to mine as well, like a little sample of mine, or is that...
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't do that.
Oh.
Yeah, of course I can. Actually, since this is audio, I can just stick them in.
Yeah,
in
so
here.
you can here's examples of both.
King Aquilin Fairlin, ruler of the Raythe Empire and star of his people, tipped his head back and closed his eyes. Sunlight rained down upon him. Its warmth caressed the bare skin on his face and neck. The rest of him was thoroughly covered, from his golden breastplate to the matching pauldrons, gauntlets, and greaves, not to mention the enchanting flowing white shirt and crimson cloak. The armor was heavy. It was also very hot and uncomfortable, and not even practical. This armor wasn't for protection. There was nothing and no one that could harm him here under the blazing afternoon sun anyway. It was purely for pomp and circumstance. He was to look appropriately kingly on his way to the Arias palace. I am no longer a king at war. I am a king at peace, and I need to look the part. At least, that's what his eldest brother, Veslin, had suggested. He enjoyed fine clothes, but he longed mostly to be cool at this moment. But this outfit was a concession he'd made to Veslin in exchange for there being no parade waiting for him upon his arrival in Terrail. Do I even deserve a parade? He grimaced and tried to shake that thought away. What if the war was all my fault? His chest felt tight, as now that the exigencies of the war were no longer occupying his every waking thought, and the old guilt was starting to fester and grow again. Raythe was sure that he wasn't to blame, but Aquilin didn't believe in coincidences.
Chapter 1. Not like other humans. Fairy fight, fairy fight, fairy fight. The chanting swelled with growing enthusiasm. Fairy fight, fairy fight, fairy fight. It was actually a fairy duel. And these were hardly rare occurrences at the Sudden Dawn Inn, but they were favorites. Fairies dueled to settle all sorts of disputes, from who would lead the fairy folk to crimes of high treason, or, as in this case, who failed to pay last night's bar tab. Rain Hollysplash was evidently sick of Snow Dimplecreek's drinking and dashing, so it was a duel to the death. The two murderous Tinkerbells prepared to face off. Declan Wilde was just hefting a keg of beer up onto his right shoulder in the back room when the chanting began. He glanced through the open door as the two delicate-winged fairies, no taller than a foot-long ruler, took their places at each end of the onyx bar, wands at the ready. Rain's wand glowed a bloody red, while Snow's was a pure white. Magic sparks poured down from their delicate bare feet onto the bar's surface as they took aim at one another. Rain, Snow, cut it out, Declan warned. His voice was low and dangerous. The fairies ignored him and his tone. Evidently, they were fueled by alcohol and unbridled rage. Ach, Declan, don't spoil our fun, Varhad Heavymace called out. Varhad put his well-worn boots up onto one of the scarred wooden tables that dotted the inn's barroom. The dwarf then took a great draught of his beer, smacking his lips together with satisfaction afterwards. He looked ready to enjoy a good duel. Let me guess, Varhad, you're the one behind this? Declan asked with a lifted eyebrow at the dwarf. Inciting violence in the dawn again?
As you can tell, we love audio. It's like now the stories are an excuse for the audio.
Totally. It totally is. Because I love audio, and I think that's what I've always wanted. And it gives me my frustrated actor desires to go out and, do something like acting wise.
And next question is, this is something that everybody wants to know, probably including you, which is, how long will this series be?
Oh, God. Okay, so we're on chapter 82 and they've just kissed, the couples. I estimate probably between 200 and 250 chapters, maybe longer. I'm not sure, because we've got two couples, just so you know. And then we've got major world building plus a massive anti-hero story arc. And then these couples, each individual has their own arcs and their own stories separate and apart from their romantic part. Plus, there's a couple extra other characters that are thrown into with their arcs. Yeah.
This is really romantic fantasy.
It really is. So for those of you who love big tomes, this is a big tome and it's like never ending. So it's going to be larger than Everdark, larger than Dragon's Reign for sure. That I can already promise you.
And talk about the print books. What do we have available for people who want this title in print?
Okay, so this is like, again, us realizing we got to give the people what they want. And I'm so happy to do this. When I was a kid, I read a ton of fantasy, and my brother would have these large, fantasy volumes with these beautiful covers, so spectacular. And I dreamed as a little kid of being an author one day and having my name on a book just like that. And The Night Prince is just like that. So what we're going to be doing is, just like we did for Everdark and Dragon's Reign, you will be able to get The Night Prince in hardcover that I will sign and send to you from my home. You'll also be able to get a pod paperback from Amazon.
That's print on demand.
Yes, that's print on demand. So it's still going to have the beautiful cover. Amazon's quality is okay.
It's okay. It's
but
serviceable.
it's not like the top of the line, just so you know that. And they're about $25 a pop.
What would be awesome? I was just talking about this with my brother, is if libraries had their own print on demand machine.
Right? That
Where
would be
you
cool.
you could buy books right from the library.
That would be very cool. I just think that libraries aren't set up to actually give money to the authors. You have to go through something called OneDrive or something like that. Yeah.
It's convoluted, but it's like they already have 3D printers. Why can't they have book
can't
printers
they just
too?
book printers too, damn it? Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the schedule, because
Yes.
I know when people read book one of something, they're brave souls. When
They
it's
are
the
brave
only
souls.
book available, I will not do it. I have to have at least 2 books out in a series, especially if I know it's going to be a long one.
Yes. Well, you can already see when the second book of The Night Prince is coming out, which is July 24th. So there's already the pre-order up for it right now.
Yeah, and book 3, what do you think, around October?
Yeah. Let me just double check our schedule, because we do have an actual schedule, which is like very exciting. Night Prince, October. Yeah, you were right. October 2025.
Book 4 is probably going to be in January or February.
That's right.
We haven't done the schedule
It's
for that
approximately 3 months apart.
Yeah. For those people who are wondering why we can't release the books faster for this and Everdark Academy and Dragon's Reign, we want to stagger them because we know some people love Dragon's Reign, some people love Night Prince, some people will love Everdark Academy. We want to give everybody a fair shake, but also the covers take a long time to make.
They take a long time.
The beautiful illustrations are all hand done.
Yes, no AI, guys.
Yeah, no. Will there be a special edition printing of The Night Prince, or at least omnibus printings?
Yes. That will be, though, it's probably 2-3 years away. Because we just had done Everdark, and I thought, I really want to do this Everdark Academy special edition. And then we were like, we don't have all the art. Dragon's Reign will be done by January,
Right.
and then we will be able to do Dragon's Reign Kickstarter with an omnibus and special editions next year. Mm-hmm. So we're really trying to keep it down to 1 per year because of the amount of work it takes for all the art and all the formatting, all the marketing, all the everything.
If you look on our YouTube channel, you can see photos and a video of what the Everdark Special Edition is going to look like. It's not just a book. There's like color pages and new illustrations and stuff like that.
So you can get your copy of The Night Prince Book 1 on all major retailers. Ebooks, you can get paperbacks on Amazon for Pod, an audiobook read by Edward Fox and Hannah Hart on Audible. And you can get my version of the audiobook on the Raythe Rain store. And you'll also be able to get and pre-order right now the hardcover for The Night Prince Book 1. Truly, we can't thank you guys enough for supporting us in all the ways you do, whether it just be listening, whether it be picking up an ebook, whether it be doing a like or share. It's very, very important to us, and we can't obviously do this without you. We wouldn't want to do it without you, and we can't wait to share more with you about this particular series and other things to come. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.